Okay, and here we go. Now you can actually see the wheel that we're going to try refinishing. This is off of a SLK Mercedes convertible. It's a 16-inch alloy wheel, and you can see a lot of bad curb rash. A lot of bad curb rash, and you can actually see the finish peeling off. So we're going to sand this baby down and redo it, and I'm going to film the process. So here we go. First step, we're going to make sure the wheel is nice and clean, and then I'm going to start the sanding process. I got a 320 grit sanding block that we're going to use to sand this down. Get rid of a lot of the imperfections, get rid of a lot of the finish. This way we can prime it and have the new paint stick to it. So let's get to work. Okay, so step 2, you want to make sure you tape off. I just used the blue painter's tape. Tape off right around the rim. You want to take off your center cap of the wheel and also tape off your valves, stem, all common sense stuff. So tape that all off. And then the next step I'm going to get to is sanding. We're going to sand this wheel down really good. This way the paint will stick to it pretty well. But just best recommendation, if you have playing cards, that's probably a better way to go. I've seen people put playing cards around the rim, and kind of makes a nice surface to work and spray within. So, all right, let me get to sanding. Okay, and I just sanded the wheel using a 320 grit sanding block, and as you can see, it came out pretty good. Got a lot of the finish off. The edges still look a little rough. That's what I'm going to work on now. If you can see here, there's some pitting in the wheel. I'm going to fill that in. What I'm going to fill that in with, I'm going to use Bondo and some putty knives to smooth it out. Let that set. Sand that down one more time. And also a tack cloth. It's very important. You want to get all that dust off from sanding. This way, again, the paint has good adhesion. So let me get to work. Okay, and I just wiped the wheel down with the tack cloth, and as you can see, it's nice and dry. Yeah, those tack cloths really work well. So next step of the process, we're going to start the filling. I'm going to get the Bondo set up, and we're going to start filling in some of those pits that you see right there. So let's get that done. Okay, so as you can see, I used the Bondo. I filled some pits. I'm going to let the Bondo harden up, and in about 15 minutes I'm going to sand it again, use the tack cloth, and then we'll be ready for our first coat of primer. I could have done a better job on the curb rash, but honestly the paint was just peeling off, so I'm just looking to respray the wheel. I'm not looking to fix every imperfection on it, but if you want, you could have done a little bit better job than I did here. But like I said, I'm going to let that set up, harden up, and then we'll sand it again and wipe it down, and we'll be ready for our first coat of primer. Okay, and here's a closer look at things. The Bondo is finally set nicely. Oh, you have to excuse that. The Bondo is set really nicely. We're going to take our sanding block, and we're going to start sanding away. As you can see, I left kind of some high patches there. So, let's get that sanded down nicely. Alright, it's coming a little bit better. Word to the wise, don't use so much Bondo. The less Bondo, the better. So I put on a little too much in this. Again, it's first time doing wheels, so you have to bear with me here. We're gonna scrub that down nice. It's feeling a little smoother. This one over here. This one here. Okay, And we are ready for the primer now that the wheel is done. I wiped it down good with a tack cloth. Get yourself a can of this. It's Rust-Oleum makes the self-etching primer. It etches and primes in one easy step. It'll really promote the adhesion, especially with alloy wheels. You want to make sure that the finish doesn't come off. So always prime your wheels. This way it'll even everything out. And when you go to spray them with the aluminum finish, it'll have a nice even coat on there. So I think this can cost me about $5. Not very expensive, but definitely well worth the money. So check it out. Okay, and this is our final result after the primer. It's been drying about half hour on that self-etching primer, but it looks pretty good. Came out really nice. You know, as I said, I didn't fix the curbage damage, I guess you'd call it, around the wheel so well, but definitely will do the trick for me, and it's looking pretty good. Everything's even. Like I said, definitely recommend that self-etching primer. It'll do the trick. I'm very excited to put on the first coat of silver, so let's get this thing going and see how it turns out. Okay, and here we go. There is our first coat. Actually, it's a few coats. I take that back, but definitely looking much better. It's a little bit darker than the original finish, so I'm probably going to do the alloy wheels as well, but it looks definitely spectacular, night and day from what it was. So as you can see, it's doable. Now I'm going to let this dry for about 15-20 minutes, and then I'm going to shoot it with a coat of clear coat. It's going to give it definitely some more shine and some protection against wear and tear. So there you have it. We're getting through the process nicely. It's looking really sharp, as you can see. You know, so again, cheap fix. If you don't want to buy new wheels, definitely take it on. The hardest part is just getting the wheel off the car. The rest is just a little labor of love, and it's very doable. So as you see, we'll look at it with the clear coat and see what we think. Okay. And here we go. Looks like the clear coat is drying nicely. That's the first coat. Nice shine to it. I think the wheel looks really good compared to what it looked like originally. So, real nice finish. Give you a closer up look at that. Yeah, it came out really well. I'm going to do one more coat of clear, and then we'll have the final results on the vehicle, so you'll get to see it. And there you have it. Okay, and here we have it, the final product. Yeah, definitely a huge improvement. Looks good. Everything's back together. I'm going to go throw it on the car. Everything's dry. And it came out really well. I'm very impressed. Got a little paint on the tire. But, yeah, very doable. So, there you have it. Like new.